Welcome to Talking Hoosier Baseball. We're recording this on Thursday, January 26th, 2023. I'm Cassidy Palmer, joined by Chris Feeney and our special guest today, Josh Pyne. Josh is a sophomore third baseman for the Hoosiers. Josh, welcome to Talking Hoosier Baseball.
Thank you for having me.
And Chris, if you want to kick us off.
Thanks, Cass. Once again, thanks, Josh, for your time. I know the life of a D1 athlete, you're not having a lot of spare time, I would assume, so really appreciate you coming on with us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your guys' time.
Just to start off, and it's really fitting after last night with Scott Rowland's Hall of Fame induction, how does it feel playing third base on a team where the director is Scott Rowland?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome. I find that being here, I'm surrounded by awesome people that want me to get better and will push me every single day. And that's one of the reasons why Indiana is such a good fit for me and everyone that's here. You know, we're pushed every single day and we're surrounded by talent, by greatness, you know, and it's starting to show.
And you decided quite a long time ago that you wanted to be a Hoosier. You hadn't even played a game in ninth grade. It was the way I read it from when you committed, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So what made you know that this is something you wanted before you even were playing freshman high school ball?
So, you know, growing up in a small town, not too far from Bloomington, actually, I grew up always a Hoosier fan, and usually it was a Hoosier basketball, right? My dad's a big IU basketball fan and always has been. So I grew up watching the Hoosiers on TV, and it just kind of, you know, over the years, just seeing the uniforms, the cream and crimson, it's like, man, that's awesome. Those are some good looking uniforms. The facilities are awesome. And so it got to the point where college recruiting got into it, and I visited Indiana and I absolutely loved it. And I went through a coaching change through my commitment. Lamonis left, and then Merce and that gang come in, and you know that's a blessing in disguise. It really was, and I'm so happy to play under Coach Mercer and the staff, and my teammates that are here, and it's just been a dream come true.
And now we talk a lot about the transition from high school to freshman, or sometimes transferring from one school to another. But what's the transition been like from freshman to sophomore for you?
You know, I was blessed as a freshman, right? I was blessed to be able to get on the field, right, and play a lot of baseball and have a lot of bats, and you know, I did a lot of things well, but I did a lot of things not well, you know, and so you can't live in the past. You got to move on. You got to attack those weaknesses, right? You got to be a better player than you were the year before. And so really the transition this year was get healthy, stay healthy, get stronger, and attack those weaknesses. And so that's really been the goal the last 6-7 months, were to really buckle down, try to turn those weaknesses into strengths, right? That's the goal. Get stronger, and it's been going really well.
If we're going to have an even better season next year from you, I'll absolutely take that one. Now, one of my favorite things is the 2-out RBI. I put it on Twitter a lot. 2-out RBIs are the best kind. But I feel like you've taken this whole thing to another level. You want 2 outs, and you want to have 2 strikes on you. I mean, I've never seen game-winning hits, walk-off hits. You always seem to have 2 strikes on you. What do you do to just like clear the mechanism? Can you talk a little bit about it? Because it's apparent as a freshman too. So impressive.
You know, it's Merce says it all the time. You got to be able to hit with 2 strikes, right? It really doesn't change too much in the at bat, right? You got to pitch up and over the plate. You got to drive it somewhere. So it goes back to like our hitting philosophy as a whole, and it's just hit fastballs up and over the plate hard, hit them 95 plus somewhere, and hope they find a gap. You know, if it's a line drive out, it's a line drive out. You can't really do too much about that. So what I try to do is I try to stay focused, right? I try not to let outside noise bother me too much. Try to keep composure, right? I like to stay composed on the field. Not get worked up too much. So when 2 strikes come up, especially when it's a big situation, you know, I just like to take a deep breath, step back in the box, realize, you know, hit a ball hard somewhere. He's going to throw you a ball up and over the plate, right? The pitcher wants to strike you out. That is his goal. He wants to strike you out. He wants that stat line, right? So don't let him do that. It's a competition, right? It's me versus that guy, and I want to come out on top every time.
I'm sure it doesn't hurt if the guy behind you gets walked intentionally before you come up, huh?
That's right.
What was that day? I couldn't believe that was happening at the time. I was like, yeah, go ahead, walk him. That's fine. What goes through your mind in the on-deck circle when that's happening? Seriously, that's got to be.
That's disrespect. You know, I love
right.
that. Disrespect me. I love disrespect anyone on our team, right? It's going to come back to bite you.
And there's enough threat across the lineup to do that. How is it hitting with a team that is so dangerous pretty well across the board, at least getting on base, strong hits, whatever?
It makes hitting a little bit easier. It really does. Knowing that there is room for failure. Nobody wants to fail, right? I don't want to go up and strike out, but it's going to happen. I'm not going to go no strikeouts the whole season, but I know the guy behind me has my back. That's just playing on a team that knows how to hit, that knows how to move runners, that knows how to get on base. It's a blessing. And we're really deep. We got a lot of good hitters this year. There's going to be a lot of talent on the field. There's going to be a lot of talent in the dugout this year. It's going to be a really tough lineup to get out.
We got snow on the ground right now. It's like 28 degrees. You got me fired up, bro. I gotta say, 22 days or whatever it is, needs to go quick here, please.
Yep.
And maybe
You're
warm
talking
up
about that lineup. We've actually never had 3 freshman All-American, and the Collegiate Baseball News, had you Matheson and Tibbetts honored with that selection. Is there a competition between you guys? Is it a healthy competition where you're just trying to like outdo each other, or how's that relationship with you 3?
Our relationship's great. Carter, I lived with Carter last year, and I live with Brock right now. So I really don't feel as if there's any competition between us at all. I feel like we're all different players in our own way. I'm not going to go out and hit 19 home runs like Carter's going to, we're just different players, but I think what we do well is push each other to be the best that we can be, right? We all like to take swings together. We like to analyze, he'll tell me if I'm doing something wrong and I'll tell him if he's doing something wrong, which I think is a really big part in building a strong team, being able to criticize each other and not take it to heart, right? I'm trying to make you better. You make me better, right? It's being coachable. And I feel like that's what we do really well as a team overall, is that we don't have to have coaches with us 24/7, right? We can help each other be better.
Now, what about off the field? Is there any friendly competition going on off the field?
I mean, not really. I mean, I don't think that we really compete off the field too much. We like to hang out together, but other than that, I mean, I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? I can think of one thing specifically. Me and Matthew Ellis playing pool. I try to beat him playing pool, but
Nice.
that's when I get real competitive off the field. But other than that, it's a great group of guys to be around. We love each other to death. I'd do anything for anyone on this team.
You're bringing up Matthew Ellis. Oh, sorry, Cass.
Oh, I was just gonna say I remember some years of ping pong competition. Like that was always very competitive.
I am bad at ping pong. I might be the worst ping pong player on the team, and I'll take that. I'll take it.
They got a nice setup there in the clubhouse, though, right? Is that still there?
Yeah, it is, and they're on that. I mean, there's not 10 minutes that go by where there's not somebody playing ping pong.
Nice. You had brought up Matt Ellis, so it was something I wanted to ask. Since you brought his name up already, whose idea was the Step Brothers bit on Instagram? Because that was great.
That was mine, actually. I was like, he was right after me. And I was like, you know what? You're going to be there. Why don't we do that? And I'll post on Instagram. We'll make a good Instagram post and get people to laugh,
Oh, it was classic. It was so good. Absolutely. And I would think he's a big leader on the team, right? With his experience, he's a little bit older and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you something. We had put a video out today. We said, guess who the next guest is going to be on the podcast? And it was from you in 10th grade that I actually got at the Canes showcase at the Bart. And most of it was you pitching, to be honest. Do you miss being on the mound?
In a sense, I do. I like to compete. I'm a competitor. And being on the mound is one of the most competitive things that you can do. Like I just explained in the box, like it's a competition. I loved getting up there. You're in control of the game. The game's on your time. It goes off of you. So I do in a sense, but I'm really happy where I'm at and what I'm doing now.
You're doing well with it.
I appreciate that.
Let's see. And kind of looking at what you're doing well, is there a favorite MLB player that you try to model your game after, whether that's in the field, at the plate, favorite team, anything like that?
I wouldn't say I try to model my game after him, but I love watching Arenado play. I mean, I just think that guy can just flat out play and he plays the game the right way. So I love watching him play.
Doesn't hurt he's a third baseman, huh?
It doesn't. You're exactly right. But, That guy plays the game the right way, and I love watching that. I love watching good baseball, people that want to be out there.
As a Cardinals fan, I love hearing that.
Now, as a Mets fan, we had some good third basemen, so I'm not going to lie. Robin Ventura was a very good one defensively. And his big thing was that slow roller, that bare hand play, that do or die play that I feel like you've really taken, I don't know, ownership with, or you've made a lot of them. You don't seem to have any fear of doing it. Like, has it always been something you do, that getting that role, that barehanded play?
I don't think I've ever really feel the balls barehanded. You know, I transitioned over to the corner last year, so it kind of changes the game a little bit, changes angles. It speeds the game up, really. For me, it did. It sped the game up. It made me realize you can't second guess anything, right? Balls hit, first step, you got to go. Like, these guys are quick, you got to go. And so, no, believe it or not, that's something that I like to practice on a daily basis. Every day we have defense. Today, for example, I asked Merce, I said, will you roll me some slow rollers so I can work on the bare hand play? It's just something that I feel like I had to practice a little bit. It's a different throwing motion. You have to kind of clear your body around to get that throw up and over into first base. And you got to protect your first baseman, right? You can't throw the ball up the line where he's going to collide with the runner. So all that kind of goes into play. So I'm trying to miss. If I miss, I'm going to miss up the line, right? So it saves our first baseman. But it's something that I had to incorporate pretty much all last fall and this time last year to really get down for the season.
And now looking forward to the next season, do you have any personal goals?
You know, I try not to set personal goals for myself. What I really want to do is I want to win a Big Ten championship. Plain and simple. We got the team to do it, and I'm super, super excited. And I love everyone that I'm around every day. And we got a brotherhood brewing in Bloomington. So that's really what I want to do. I want to win a Big Ten championship, get into the postseason, and show these people what we can do.
Well, when Coach arrived at his first season, you know, he was able to pick that trophy up at the bar after beating Rutgers. That's the last one. We hadn't had one since 2014. So, you know, this would be nice to bring back. Absolutely. And with this team, I got to tell you, the guys coming in, the arms on the mound really seem solid. What are some of the guys that you've had some trouble with? Not trouble with, obviously you're a good hitter, but these new arms that have come in practice and stuff that have impressed you? Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I can think of a few right away. Well, even guys that were here last year, Dustin Glant is an outstanding coach and does an outstanding job with our guys, and he pushes them every single day, right? The one that I really, really have noticed a transfer in, or two of them, are Luke Sennard and Seti. I'm not going to butcher his last name, so I'm not going to say it, but Seti and Luke Sennard, those are the two that I have really noticed. And then actually all the returners have done really well. Ty Bothwell's stuff has gotten a ton better. Guy's a threat, a big threat on the mound this year. Luke Hayden has made tremendous strides. Great pitcher.
So he changed his motion a little bit. He's got a different setup on the mound now, huh?
He does, and his presence on the mound is there now. He's got a presence. He looks like he wants to dominate you. We got a lot of weapons on the mound this year. We really, really do. And it's kind of like a rotation, right? It makes us better as hitters, right? We'll go in, we'll hit off the pitchers, and we'll hit really well one day. Well, they'll come out the next week. I want blood. You know, they'll expose our weaknesses, and then it's like, man, we got to get better. We just continue to get better every week.
Yeah, and I know looking at the roster up and down, I don't know that I can remember a year where a team was this young, but also this experienced at the same time. How does it feel coming in? Like you're a sophomore, you're still an underclassman, but you've got so much experience and a group of experienced young guys. How has that been?
Yeah, no, it's exciting. The best way that I can put it. It's really, really exciting because we got my class, we got Hunter, but we got all the outfielders, right? No one's super, super old. You're right. We don't have a real old team. But I think that we're still out there, especially after last season. We're still wanting to put a name out here for Indiana University, right? We're wanting to show like this is a baseball school. Like we can play baseball with anybody. So I think that we're ready. I mean, I think that this is going to be a really, really good season. Plus, it allows me to help the younger guys, the freshmen that came in, speak from experience, right? Because the biggest guy, not the biggest guy, but someone that helped me a lot last year coming onto the field was Cole Barr. He would come back and he helped me at third base tremendously. And so that's something that I kind of took to heart, right? Was these older guys, they know what it's like. They know what the game's like. They've played it. They are playing it, right? And so being able to speak from experience, help out with these younger guys, the game speeds up from high school to college. The game speeds up a lot. So just to try to help them fit in. And I think that, we got a really good team this year.
Cole was a special dude, man. He was real good. He got it. Like the whole time he was here, he understood. He would go through. He was streaky, right? So sometimes he'd be down on one of those down streaks. But you know what? It never changed the defense. It never changed anything. And then when he got hot, it was glorious. You could only hope to contain Cole Barr at that point.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was no joke.
Great player, great guy. I love him to death.
Man, that's a cool story, man. Thanks for sharing that with us. I really like to hear how the different generations help each other here. And it's not even just a coaching, philosophy or staff. Like it's just all the way through the years, people coming back to help out. It's real cool.
Yep.
Just a little bit about you. I had looked up, I'm just Googling your name and checking out stuff and learning about you. And I found a feature by Rick Semler that explains we might not even had you as a ball player if dirt bike racing had gone another way. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. So, man, I was young. I was like 6, 7 years old. And I have an older brother who's 4.5 years older than I am. And we were raised outside, right? We were raised outside, get outside. I'm cleaning the house, get outside, whatever. So we picked up riding. We picked up racing. We used to race dirt bikes a lot. And it was something that was kind of like travel baseball for us, right? We would leave every weekend. We would travel all over the country, right? We were in New York, it would be Mississippi, it would be everywhere, right? And my brother was a lot better than I am. I'll give him that one. If he watches this or sees this, I will give him that thing. He was better than me at this. But no, we were down at a race down south and I got hurt. I got lifelined. And after that, my mom kind of wanted us to change directions, right? I mean, I get where she's come from. It's scary as a mother. And I'm glad she did, really, because it put me in this direction to pick up something. I need to do something. So I picked up baseball, right? Picked up baseball pretty heavy. And that's kind of what got me where I am today. If I hadn't, everything happens for a reason, but if I hadn't wrecked, I probably, wouldn't be here. So probably still be trying to race somewhere. But
hey, but the way I heard the story is you did have one more race after that, no?
I did. I come back out, and I won my last race, and then we called it quits. But I did.
That's the way I heard it. That's how I heard it.
I went out one more time. I had to get a win under my belt before we stopped. I had to one last time. That feeling was amazing, and it was something that I'll forever cherish. And I still like to pick up and ride anytime I can. It's something that I'll always love to do.
Thanks for sharing that with us, man. When I heard that, this is a wild story. And I don't care if I think they said you were 7 years old, 8 years old, or whatever. And I don't care how old you are. Getting back out there for that one last race. I mean, I know they say kids, like, they don't understand or they don't pick up on how dangerous something might have been. I'm sure you picked up on it getting lifelined.
Yeah.
And you still got back up on that bike. That resiliency was real cool to hear.
Yeah, I had to get one last one under the belt. There's that competitive nature.
Go out on a
and you mentioned outdoors. I hear you're a big hunter and a fisherman and stuff like that. You like that with free time?
That's what I love to do. I mean, any free time comes around and I get a chance to go home and get in the deer stand or go out and hunt with my buddies one night, coyote hunt or something, or just get out and fish, I'll do it. I love it. That's one reason why I also love being in Bloomington is I'm close to home. I still have those. I'm able to go do that stuff. It's a win-win situation for me. I'm a 35-minute drive. After a fall practice, I can go get in the deer stand for 3-4 hours and try to put some food on the table. So it's really great.
Have you had a chance to go out and hunt or fish with any of the other guys?
So I have. I've taken last year. I don't know if you remember Max Johnson, one of my good buddies while he was here. I loved him to death. I took him deer hunting with me quite a bit. Actually, because he's from Cincinnati, right? Didn't really do that stuff growing up. Got him outside. He loved it. I've taken Luke Hayden before. Riley Langerman, the transfer from Maryland, got him out earlier last fall, I guess, and put down some coyotes one night, and he loved it. It's a blast. It's something that getting away from baseball for a little bit one night and doing something like that with your teammates is something that I'll forever cherish. That means a lot to me.
I can imagine, somebody from Cincinnati, like you said, or inner city like myself, coming from Brooklyn and New York, and even Long Island. I mean, there's no hunter on Long Island either, but just to learn about stuff like that, is real interesting. I know Josh, the other guy, Josh and Carl. Josh took me out fishing with him at some lake. It was the White River, actually, to the White River near where he lives, and his son caught this monster catfish. And to see the excitement that they had. Now, for me, I don't know. I just thought it was another fish. I didn't really understand. But apparently it was huge. And you got a father so proud of his son. You know what I mean? That whole thing. Outdoors is real cool stuff.
Yeah, it's like I would grow up, my dad would take me out fishing or hunting, and it's like we'll be out there for hours. I mean, you would sit in the deer stand for a total of 36 hours and not put one down or whatever. It would be not straight, but it would be over different days, over weeks. And to finally put a deer down or to catch a fish and be able to fillet it or something like that, it's just a blessing. It's so neat to have those experiences and be able to go outside anytime you want. And that's something that I love and I want to be able to do for the rest of my life for sure.
Wow. I think your summers are going to be busy if you ask me for a while, but we'll see.
I think so.
Well, what about, have there been any other on campus or near campus kind of social things with the team or with parts of the team that you've enjoyed?
Oh, man. No, I mean, we all like to hang out. We got a big house on campus where a lot of the guys live, and we all like to go there, watch games. Right now football's on, right? We got a lot of football going on, so we all gather there and watch the games. And we had a Super Bowl party last year. We ordered a lot of wings and watched the games. It's just stuff like that. But other than that, off campus, I really don't think we travel too far together.
Just to bring it back to the field, I know we're kind of going all over the place, which is how we do it because we're not pros here. I wanted to just pick up, I found a quote from Merce. It kind of goes back to what we were saying about with the 2 outs and the 2 strikes. And I just want to read it for people and get, just how you feel about it. He says, that cat's got a slow heartbeat. Josh is as good as I've ever seen as a freshman to being able to let go of whatever has happened and just be on that pitch. So how do you just kind of flush whatever's already happened? Because it doesn't seem to matter whether you're 0 for 3, that 4th at bat, you'll hit the winner. You know what I mean? Like, how does this happen? I obviously do not understand how this works because I sit in the bleachers. But the way you guys shake this stuff off, if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter, right? You can't live in the past. Come up in a big situation, you've had a bad game, your team needs you. Like, nobody in the dugout is thinking this guy's 0 for 3. Nobody in the stands thinking this guy's 0 for 3. They're like, man, this is the right guy to do it. He's going to do it. They all have faith. You got to have faith in yourself, right? If you get up in that box, be like, man, I'm awful today. Like, I can't, it's not going to work out. You got to have self-talk and you got to have confidence when you step into that box every single time, right? It's got to turn around sometime. Why not that at bat?
So it's about just really trusting what brought you there.
Yeah. I mean, everyone on that field, everyone in both dugouts can play college baseball, right? But it's the mentally tough. It's those guys that have the correct self-talk, that have the self-confidence to be able to step up in that box and have, 250, 300 at-bats a year. They're going to go through highs and lows, right? You can't ride the highs and you can't ride the lows, right? You got to ride in the middle, and you got to play where your feet are, right? You can't live in the past. You got to play where your feet are and know that it's bigger than you. It doesn't matter what you feel. It matters about your teammates. It's you're doing it for your teammates and Indiana across your chest, right?
And as I'm keeping score during the games, I see 0 for 3 and they're due. They're very due. And so that's what I see in those situations.
Yeah, exactly. Like nobody's thinking like, oh man, he's 0 for 3. He's struggling. It's like he's due, right? So change the course of the game right there. It's all you need is one at bat. You can change the course of a game.
Now, is there a game or series in particular that you're looking forward to this year?
I mean, I would be crazy to not say Purdue, right?
Yep.
I would be crazy to not say the Purdue series.
Yes.
That's one they're coming down to Bloomington. That's one that I'm really, really excited for. I mean, I'm also excited for the Iowa series. Oh, wait, do we play Iowa this year?
Oh, I'm just pulling up the schedule now. It's thinking. I can never keep track of
I
in
honestly,
conference.
I think we go there.
Yes. Nope.
right?
They're coming to Bloomington.
Oh, they're
Alright, yeah.
coming. Okay.
Beginning
that's
of
what I
April.
thought. That's what I thought. Those are the two series I think that I'm most excited for sure. I think we got a little bit that we need to repay there.
See, I like this guy.
Both teams.
Both teams he picked. We got 17-0 at Purdue. And you got that ridiculous Friday that turned into what, 30-15 at Iowa. And that's what he picks. He doesn't pick Texas. He doesn't pick Auburn. He doesn't pick the big SEC.
ECU.
He says, I want revenge on those guys who did. I love it, Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready for him. We'll be ready for him.
Nice. And you wanted that Big Ten title. So those are more important games anyway.
Got to win them.
Yep.
Got to.
Nice. Let's see, Cass, what else we got? We've gone over a lot here. Oh, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about high school. I saw this couple of, multi-sport athlete, right? I know you were playing basketball too. And what are some favorite moments in high school playing sports, whether it was the no-hitter, sectional, or whether it's playing, I don't know, the championship game at the Pacers home? What are some highlights in high school for you?
Yeah, I would say being from a small town in Indiana, right? Everyone loves basketball, right? And I did too. I enjoyed playing basketball, and I still do. I still like to pick up basketball. I'm not real good anymore, but still like to pick up a basketball and go shoot around. But I would say when we made the state tournament run in high school for basketball was probably my favorite memory in high school. That was just I mean, you were playing in front of thousands and thousands of fans. It's Indiana high school basketball, right? Like there's going to be tons of people there, and I wasn't a starter at the time. This is probably the most nervous I have ever been in a sports game right here. Was we were playing at Paoli in the regional, and one of our star players our star player got hurt. He was in my class, one of my best friends, hurt his back. And so we were out. I was the sixth guy. I was the sixth man off the bench, and I had to go out and play the regional championship. And we were in front of, I don't know, it was probably 6,500 people there. And, I had a good game. I held my own, and we ended up winning that game by like 4 or 5. And that would take us on to go to the state tournament. I was back on the bench the next weekend, but I was ready when my name was called, and it was an unbelievable ride. Your
family had to be so proud sitting in that stance with all those people, and especially you played in the title game, right?
Yeah,
where the Pacers play.
I did. I played a couple minutes. Yep.
Nice, good stuff. Being a multi-sport athlete, I mean, we see it now how it really helps others. Whether it's learning how to be a bench guy. Ben Seiler was talking about that. We had him on. Maybe you excel in one sport and then you learn how to play another role in a different one.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Actually, that's one thing that basketball really did teach me was like, I was usually, I mean, we had Kip and I together on the baseball field. So I'm not going to say I was the best player on the baseball field playing high school baseball, but I was usually one of the top 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much always. And I always excelled in baseball at that level. And then basketball came. It's not my sport. It's not my main sport. I play it because I enjoy it. I like my teammates that I'm with. And I was a bench guy. I was a role guy for a couple of years. And then senior year come along, I picked up a bigger role. I was every game starter, right? I was the point guard. But you're right. It teaches me different roles. Be ready when your name's called. That's Merce preaches it all the time, especially like last year. Like I didn't know I was going to play, and then my name was called. You just have to be ready at all times.
Also seems like it helps the body physically playing the different sports, whether it's cutting down on repetitive stress injuries, working different muscles differently, different levels of stamina. Seems like that usually helps as well.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I played basketball also to keep in shape in the off season, right? So that was one thing. It gave my arm a little bit of a rest, right? I used my legs more. I built up endurance and stuff like that. So it was a win-win for me.
Well, you stay focused on baseball. I think that's how we need to keep this.
Oh, I ain't going anywhere now.
Sweet. Obviously coming over, you mentioned Lamonis was actually who, recruited you. And then with the switch over to Coach Mercer, how has your experience been, let's say, coming on campus last year under Coach and his staff? What are some things you learned from them?
Pretty much everything that you see me do within a game, right? I switched new position. My swing's totally different from what it was in high school. They've pretty much taught me how to play baseball again, in a way, taught me how to play at the college level, which is a whole different game. They've been outstanding on and off the field. They're great mentors off the field. They'll help you with anything that you need help with. And I feel like that's important playing at this level, knowing that you're playing for guys that care about you, right? Care about you as a person, right? Merce and Sim and Z and Denton, they all care about us off the field. If I have an issue, I could give them a call and talk to them about it as long as I needed to. And so it's a brotherhood. I keep saying that over and over again, but it really is. And it starts with the coaches, I feel like, and they're the ones that kind of brought that mentality about the team. And they're the ones that's helping shape it. And now it's in our hands. It's in the players' hands. We love each other, right? We're going to go out there and we're going to play for the university, for the state, and for the coaches and everyone. So, no, I will be forever thankful of what the coaches have done for me.
Sounds like it was a real good fit. I'm glad you stayed through the coaching change, man. Obviously coming in, I don't know. I didn't think, to be honest, you were going to be starting as a freshman. Not a lot of kids do. No. I mean, no offense, but it doesn't happen like this all the time.
No.
Yeah.
And for you to jump in the way you have and you hit the ground running. I remember, what was it, Clemson, right? We were at Clemson and all right, the games didn't go exactly how we wanted. The Sunday game was great and a lot of fun. But we could see you were a player. We could see your baseball IQ even back in that first series. So it's only gotten better, and you've impressed Hoosier fans all around. I just want to let you know that, and I appreciate your hard work.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you guys coming to the games for sure. There's nothing better than you walk out of that locker room and it's an hour and a half before the game and there's already people there and they're eating a hot dog on a warm day. And it's like, man, this is awesome. Like, we're playing for Indiana University. Like, we're representing the state. It's such a good feeling.
What are you studying and what are your eventual post-baseball kind of plans?
So I'm a management major through SPIA.
Yes, go SPIA.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of my mom that pushed that one on me.
Moms are usually right.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm in some classes right now that are career development classes, talking about like internships and stuff. And I have no idea what kind of work it would interest me. Like, I really have no idea yet.
Yeah, and that's not a bad place to be.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it. I actually had that class this morning, and we were writing it down, and my answer's blank still right now. I'm not real sure.
You don't have to be yet, right?
No.
Yeah, nope.
Build up
That
the
is
skills.
always coaching.
Yep.
And build up the skills that make you flexible.
Yep, you're exactly right.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground tonight. Is there anything that you'd like to share with the IU fan base that we haven't covered?
Let everyone know how appreciative we are of everybody, and that it's going to be a really fun season. I know that 3 weeks out now, and I know we're going to continue to get better. We're gonna open up at Auburn, and we're going to be a different team in May, right? We're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to push each other, and I hope to see those stands full, like in the background right there, and I hope to see that every game.
Yes, and we very much look forward to that as well. The IU base crew will be traveling down to Auburn for opening weekend, and we've pretty much always got people there every game at the BART. So
yeah, I appreciate your guys' consistency as well. I mean, it's unbelievable what you guys do for fans and family members like that can't make the game. You guys always have updates, and it's awesome what you guys do, and we are really, really appreciative of that.
And we love doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Guys.
it's
a lot
fun
of
too.
fun.
I mean, I appreciate the kind words, but it's fun too. I gotta be
It
honest.
is.
Yeah, yeah, it's a win-win, ain't it? It's everybody.
That's what I'm
wins.
It
saying.
really is. Yeah, it really is. So, well, that'll do it for this edition of Talking Hoosier Baseball. We'd like to thank our guest, Josh Pyne, for joining us tonight. For Chris Feeney, I'm Casty Palmer, and see you at the BART.